right, today we're going to tackle a really uncomfortable idea. What if I told you that being a good person, that thing we all strive for, might actually be one of the most psychologically dangerous things you can do? Yeah, it's a big one.
So let me ask you something, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. Just think about your day so far. How much of your energy, your actual mental and emotional fuel, has been spent just managing what other people think of you? We're going to really get into why this is so draining and what's actually happening under the hood.
All right, section 1, the exhaustion of goodness. And I have a feeling this is going to hit home for a lot of you. It's about that quiet, background hum of exhaustion that comes from always trying to be good.
Okay, let's look at this. Biting your tongue so you don't come off as judgmental or difficult. Saying yes when every fiber of your being is screaming no. Smiling through frustration or even, outright disrespect. Silencing little pieces of yourself because you're worried about what other people might think. What's crazy is how normal this all seems, right? But every single one of these is an act of self-betrayal, of silencing the parts of you that might be inconvenient for someone else.
And hey, we call this being a good person, right? Society absolutely rewards you for it. Your family probably praises you for being so easygoing. Your boss definitely relies on it. You get a pat on the back for being agreeable. But let's be real for a second. Underneath all that praise, doesn't it just feel like a prison? A really nice, well-decorated prison that you built yourself?
So where does this all come from? Well, this isn't just some bad habit you picked up. It's way deeper than that. It's a survival strategy, and it actually has a name. Section 2, the persona.
The famous psychologist Carl Jung, he had a name for this. He called it the persona. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the mask you wear. It's that version of yourself that you've carefully built and polished up, all designed to do two things: get approval, and maybe more importantly, avoid rejection.
And this is maybe the most important thing to get. The quote says it all. The persona is not you. It is a performance. And think about it. Performing 24/7, it's got to be one of the most exhausting things a human can do.
Okay, so if it's just a performance, why do we put so much energy into it? What's really driving us to wear this mask? This next section is called the fear behind the mask. And spoiler alert, it's not as noble as we'd like to think. Let's just look at this side by side. Your good persona, it's driven by one thing: fear. Fear of what people will think, fear of being rejected. And what does it need? It needs approval from the outside to feel okay. It's basically running in survival mode. But your authentic self, that's a whole different story. It's driven by integrity. It doesn't need approval. It needs truth. And it's not about surviving. It's about growing.
And for most of us, this whole thing started way back in childhood, right? Being good was a genius survival strategy. It was how you kept the peace, maybe how you earned love, or just how you stayed safe. And it worked. But here's the kicker. That same strategy that saved you as a kid, it's now the very thing that's destroying your authentic self as an adult. It's keeping your nervous system totally stuck in survival mode.
So think about that constant, low-level anxiety a lot of us feel. We try everything, right? Wellness apps, meditation, you name it. But what if? What if 90% of it wasn't something you had to manage at all?
Yeah. What if 90% of your daily anxiety isn't cured by some fancy app, but by one simple 2-letter word? No. That's it. Just no. It's a pretty wild thought, but it points us exactly where we need to go.
And this brings us to, well, probably the hardest part of this whole thing. The solution isn't adding more stuff on top. It's about taking something away. It's a radical idea, and we're calling it the death of the good person.
I love this metaphor. You cannot put clean water into a contaminated tank and expect it to stay clean. It's so true. You can't just slap a bunch of positive habits onto a foundation that's built on fear and people-pleasing. It just doesn't work. You have to clean out the tank first.
So the path to real authenticity, it's pretty simple, actually. Just 2 steps. Step 1, stop adding. Just stop. No more positive habits for now. Step 2, start subtracting. You start removing the thing that's keeping you small. You start taking off the mask.
And look, let's be super clear about this. This isn't gonna feel good. It's not just uncomfortable. It can feel like complete psychological annihilation. Because that self you spent your whole life building, that good person, it has to die so the real you can finally live.
So, what's on the other side of all that?
What happens when you stop performing? Well, you become something entirely. You become what we're calling dangerously authentic.
This is the core of the whole shift, right here. You move from a world of or to a world of and. Before, you could be warm or you could be firm. Now, you can be warm and firm. You used to be generous or you had boundaries. Now, you're generous and you're boundaried. You can be compassionate and ruthlessly honest. You stop being a collection of just the nice parts and become a whole person.
And this is the ultimate superpower. When you let go of needing to be seen as good, you become immune to the two main weapons people use to control you: guilt and shame. Think about it. Someone can't manipulate you by saying a good person wouldn't do that if you're no longer trying to be a good person. You're free.
So here it is, the ultimate test. Can you disappoint someone and be okay with it? Can you say no or set a boundary and then just sit there, completely stable, without that frantic urge to apologize or over-explain or fix their reaction? When you can do that, that's when you know you're free.
So the invitation here is pretty clear. The performance is over. It's time to drop the mask. It's time to become dangerous.